Alright, so guys, we are back with another TWID, and let me tell you right now, if you're a Warlock main, like myself, you're in for some treats, because I think this is going to be a good one for us Warlock mains out there. And you know what? It's about time. It's about time too. Anyway, this week in Destiny, it's the last call to earn those Solstice weapons whilst they're hot. We've also heard you wanted to hear more about Warlocks, and have a preview of some ability changes coming with Ashen Iron next month. Here's what we have lined up. All right, so we've got Solstice last call, Warlock changes, very excited for that. Crucible reward changes, Bungie store Solstice armor, we already know all about that, to be honest with you. They keep hinting on that. And the Bungie Foundation emblem. All right, you are reading the TWAB. We've got the Solstice final week. Time flies when you're having fun under the tower's summer sun, but Solstice is wrapping up soon, and we wanted to give you a friendly nudge to make sure you're not missing out on any of those sweet rewards. If you've been putting off finishing the event reward pack and grabbing those holofoil versions of Tide, Apex, Festival Light, and Fortunate Star, now's the time to dive in before the event wraps up on August 19th. Check out the last TWID for a full rundown on everything that's up for grabs, but act fast. Yeah, we talked about that in the last TWID if you guys want to go and check that out. Alright, here comes the juicy part. Warlocks and their space magic abilities. Oh my god, I'm so hyped for this. We're seeing some great usage of Warlock constructs such as Shroud of the Old Gods, Bleak Watcher, Helion, Arcsol, and Ionic Sentry. In the near future, we're planning to enable deeper build crafting with these constructs. Additionally, a few builds are starting to stand out, like Prismatic build leveraging Lightning Surge. I literally use this in PvE right now to effectively delete champions at a moment's notice. It literally is a one tab. While we're happy with how players are building into the above abilities, we're also seeing feedback on working on a handful that just aren't felt to be as potent. This limits variety in build crafting, and we're looking to address that. A few strand abilities don't shine as brightly as we wish, and a handful of exotics need bug fixes, and we're aware that players desire more grenade-centric builds to feel powerful in endgame content. As a Warlock Stasis main, it's so frustrating that, like, I can't just be like you can obviously make Bleak Watcher builds, and they're fantastic, but, like, Stasis doesn't really have like a really core, place in the PvE sandbox. It's very good in PvP. I am a Warlock Stasis main. I've been running it ever since Beyond Light. I know all about it. I was making Stasis builds before Stasis even came out, just to make sure that people knew what to expect before the subclass came out. Like, I'm all about Stasis, and other than Bleak Watcher, I just wish it had more viability in PvE content. While some of the above will take time to address, we're planning a tuning pass for Ashen Iron, also known as Major Update 9.1.0, coming in early September. We are still testing these changes and finalizing how everything should work, so some things may shift. And these are our first steps in helping Warlocks feel a bit more love for their space magic. Hunters and Titans, don't fret. I don't care about that because I don't main those classes. We'll be back in a few weeks to discuss more changes coming, blah, blah, blah. Can't stand Hunters. Anyway, Warlocks, that is the main reason as to why we are here. Abilities, Empowered Rift class ability. I use this in PvP. Standing in Empowering Rift now generates grenade, melee, and class ability energy over time. Oh my god. Final blows while standing in the Empowering Rift now generates bonus special and heavy ammo progress. That is insane. I wonder if this translates over into PvP. That would be absolutely insane if it did. Oh my god. That is already like a huge W for me. Alright, now we have Weave Walk, the Strand aspect. Exiting Weave Walk now grants Woven Mail for you and nearby allies. Woven Mail duration is relative to time spent in Weave Walk. Oh, okay, so the longer you're in it, the longer you have Woven Mail. Okay. Increase horizon momentum on enter and exit. Increase fragment slots from 2 to 3. That's a huge buff. Okay, amazing. Weaver's Call, stand. I'm very sure they meant to say strand. Strand and Prismatic aspect now generates roosted threadling progress when giving damage on any type. Oh my god. Threadling damage now returns class ability energy. Works on all threadling damage while this aspect is equipped. Oh my god. Frost Pulse. I use this. Freezing enemies now generates class ability energy. Works on all stasis freeze whilst this aspect is equipped. Oh my god. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. Why are they doing that? Oh my god, why are they doing that? Okay, I mean, I'm not complaining. Sure. I mean, like they said, this isn't final. They might tweak a few things before Ashen Iron, but okay. Yes, I'm alright with that. I've got no issues with that. All right. Pocket, Singularity, Void, and Prismatic Melee now has 2 charges at base. Projectile lifetime increased from 1.1 to 2 seconds. Okay, that's amazing. Reworked projectile tracking to favor targets closest to the initial trajectory. Reduced destination knockback on players by 50%. Okay, cool. Yeah, the knockback was pretty huge. All right. Exotic armor. Eunoia increased projectile damage at max range from plus 15% to plus 20%. Tuned distance to damage curve to make the maximum damage distance easier to identify. Increased projectile by tracking by minus 40%. In addition to the primary projectile, the sub projectiles now benefit from Ember of Ashes and Ember of Eruption. Okay. Again, that's a nice buff. All right, we've got General. Threadlings, increased damage versus combatants by 20%. Huge, because I have a Threadling build that I just don't use anymore because of how weak it is. So now, because of that previous change that we saw with Threadlings, as well as this now, absolutely will be going back into that and trying that out to see what that looks like. All right, upcoming fixes. A few weeks ago, we examined feedback and bug reports for a few notable exotics. We want to provide a brief update on some of these investigations. We've also updated a few in prior patch notes, so these represent the remaining upcoming changes. Okay, fine. So, Starfire Protocol. We confirmed an issue where Starfire Protocol was not returning as much energy as expected on empowered hits. We fixed the issue, raising it intended to 5%, with the fix deploying in 9.0.7. Alright. Crown of Tempest. We're continuing to investigate an issue where Crown of Tempest no longer grants stacks on multi-kills. We're aiming to have a fix when Renegades go live. That's quite a long fix. Oh my god. Okay, fair enough. Alright, Rhymecoat Raiment. Again, I have a build where I use this, but I don't use it as much as what I probably should. We're continuing to investigate an issue where Rhymecoat Raiment generated stasis crystals inconsistently apply Devour when Feed the Void is active. We believe we're honing in on a fix and are looking to have a fix ready for Renegades. Alright, fine. Boost of the Assembler. We've confirmed an issue where Boost of the Assembler noble rounds won't work on a teammate that enters the Warlock Rift. A fix will be deployed during our 9.1.0 major update in Ash of Iron. Okay, sooner. Nice. Wings of Sacred Dawn. After investigating reports around Wings of Sacred Dawn, we've concluded that we missed a patch note on the Edge of Fate's release. It was intended that Wings no longer reloads your equipped weapon, as this led to problematic behaviors around single-shot magazines such as bows. Okay, fine. Controversy hold. We've received reports that this doesn't return energy as expected, and after an investigation, we believe this to be true, specifically with some combatants in the firing range only. We're looking to update the firing range combatants in a future update. Okay, that's not too dramatic then, because it's not affecting any PvE gameplay when you're actually like trying to complete patrols and activities. Alright, Nezarexin. We saw reports that regeneration buff no longer works during multi-kill streaks and believe this may have been resolved in 9.0.0.5 alongside the fix to the sprint bug. This sprint bug is such an issue, man. We'll be keeping an eye on any future reports, okay? In the coming weeks, we're also planning to communicate more about the future of class fantasies. What is it to be a Warlock? What are some of the fantasies we're hitting right now? And where do the classes need more work? We're excited to show you what else we're cooking, so stay tuned for more info. Alright, I am excited for that. Crucible power and rewards. Last week, we talked about some of the changes we are working on to continue to improve the feel of rewards and progression. Yes, that was a huge W. We read that in the last TWID, and it was very good. One of the areas we called out was Crucible Ops, and we've got more details on what we have planned to make Crucible feel more rewarding and better to progress up through the power band. I actually didn't think that like leveling up in Crucible was that bad, if I'm just being honest with you. Maybe it's just me, but I played a lot of trials this weekend, and I don't know, I was leveling up like very quickly. Alright, so earlier this week we shipped Destiny 2 update 9.0.0.6 with a handful of changes targeting post-match reward frequencies, in addition to raising the reward floor to have less disparity between low and high skill. Here is a list of issues we fixed in update 9.0.0.6. Everyone in a match now has a chance to earn an additional role as opposed to one player per team. The competitive playlist Weapons, Soul and Remembrance has a chance to drop on completion instead of wins. That's good. Lowered the B grade score threshold for reward ranks Copper and Bronze Power 10 to 300. That's very, very good. That will make it so much easier for people to get more rewards. Yeah, literally it says it here. This makes it easier to earn bonus drops and bonus focus rewards in PvP. Increase the gear tier for B plus at reward ranks Bronze and Silver Power 200 to 400. That is such a good change, especially for those that like to play more PvP than PvE content. Alright, we have more changes coming up in 9.1.0 where we are making Crucible Ops more rewarding for all players. That's very good, alongside target adjustments for early power bands. Fantastic. What does that look like? Increasing bonus drops frequency when playing Crucible Ops, very good. increasing the amount of score earned on losses. Okay, decent. Retuning the score thresholds for all grades at reward ranks copper and bronze power 10 to 300 to make earning higher power and gear tier more consistent. I love that. Increasing the highest potential gear tier at reward ranks copper, bronze, and silver power 10 to 400. Oh my god. Increasing power adjusters for PvP power 10 to 300. Oh my god. This is going to be so good. They're making all the right moves right now. And here's the thing. In fact, actually, I'll talk more actually towards the end of this because I've got a bit to say. But anyway, we're definitely not stopping with Crucible and have more PvE reward changes coming in the future, including with the Desert Perpetual raid. We'll share more in the weeks ahead. Alright, scorching savings on the Bungie store. I'm not going to delve too deep on this because we did this in the last one, to be honest with you. So I think we'll just move on from that. We already know the known issues as well. Another week, another TWAB. Enjoy the rest of the Solstice event and grab those drops. Let us know what you think of the Warlock changes, and we'll be sharing more of what's coming for Hunters and Titans very soon. Hope everyone is having a great summer up here in the Northern Hemisphere. Amazing. Stay cool out there. It's been very hot here in the UK as well, to be honest with you. Destiny 2 community team. This is all very, very good. There are so many changes coming to the game, which are all very, very positive. And I just wanted to kind of touch on that because there's a couple changes that are happening when Renegades go live, which is, you know, Rhymecone Raiment, for example, right? And here's the thing. It's very easy for us as players to immediately read that at face value and go, yes, but why is it not sooner? The amount of changes that they are bringing to the game, especially with the most recent patch that just went live, is a lot. Like, there's only so much that they can do with a given time. So the fact that we're getting this much, and again, I'm not giving Bungie the benefit of the doubt. I've seen a load of people in my comment section say, Brad, you're just being a shill. No, I'm just being realistic. I'm literally just being realistic with what we're getting, right? The amount that we're getting is very, very good. Like, more than what other game developers usually give, just to be clear. But the amount of communication and the amount of bulk that we're getting with these fixes is very, very good. Now, should these issues have happened in the first place? The short answer is no, not really. In a perfect world, you'd like all of this to be perfect. But I'm really sorry, guys. The reality of the situation is that Destiny is just a huge game. It is a massive game with a lot of miniature working parts that make the game work. You know what I mean? So, like, when you apply an update or a new patch or a new gun or a new event or a new reward or, I don't know, a new expansion, whatever it is, that's going to interrupt something somewhere because there's so many small intrinsic parts that make Destiny what Destiny is today that it's just not always going to be perfect every single time. And that is just the reality of the situation. It's very easy for us as the viewer, as the player, to go, yes, but this shouldn't be the standard that we should accept. Again, it's a massive game. It's not always going to be 100% correct 100% of the time. And with the amount that we're actually getting, the amount of patch notes that we're getting, the amount of communication that we're getting, the amount that they've fixed and have told us is on the way, I think it's very good. I overall think that this is a very, very positive thing. So the fact that some of this stuff won't be going live until Renegades, I'm actually okay with that. Because, again, the quantity and quality that we're actually getting from Bungie right now when it comes to tuning things and leaning things more into player value when it comes to, say, reward drops and things like that, it's very good. I can't fault them for that. They're just doing a very good job with that. But nevertheless, like always, guys, I want to throw it back to you because ultimately I care about your opinion and I want to know what you think and feel about all of this. So, what are your thoughts and opinions of this week's TWAB? Let me know in the comment section below. Guys, if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter. That link is in the description below. And why not join the Discord as well? That is also in the description if you wanted to come and hang out. But again, guys, just want to say massive thank you for tuning in to today's video. I appreciate every single one of you. This has been a wild ride and I'm loving every second of it. So, yeah, again, massive thank you to you guys. I appreciate you wherever you are in this world, and take care.